Hi, I'm Trooper Smacka.
Hi, I'm Trooper Wellman,
Please stay tuned for a behind-the-scenes look at being a state trooper.
and together we can make a difference.
Here we are live with another edition of Trooper Talk with my good friend Jason Sergeant Parachek from NHP, and we're here with Trooper Talk. I always tell you that everybody loves you, you know, and that you're wonderful and that you're doing a great thing, and you know, and all that stuff, and you know, you're changing Las Vegas for the positive. It's just really tough, and so you know,
it's tough. You know, I don't want to get into our manpower issues. That's above my pay grade. Someone else can talk about that. But you know, my swing shift guys that come on, they're literally drinking from a fire hose from the second we sign on till we go home. There's just the volume of calls is getting to be so much more than we had 10 years ago. I mean, just look at the growth. I mean, we're in a fishbowl, right? We're in a valley. There's mountains all around us. We just keep putting more fish in, more fish in, and you know, it's just the calls for service are getting to be a lot, and we have a lot of work to do to keep the roads safe. I mean, we can only do it a little bit at a time, but it's like I said, it's tough.
Yeah, and that's when people are doing everything they're supposed to be doing, right? You know, like not doing 125 miles an hour in a 65 mile an hour zone because they have nothing better to do.
Yeah. So a couple weeks ago, no offense towards Lamborghinis, but I was back in the Red Rock Loop. I usually drive through there on the weekends once per shift, just because when I was PIO, we used to get a lot of call volume on people calling about how dangerous it was back there. Runners, bicyclists, and you have people speeding through there. So on my weekend shifts, Saturday and Sunday, I'll drive through there just to make us have a presence, let people know there are police back here. So I was getting down towards Bonnie Springs, and I saw an orange car coming at me in my lane. So I put my radar on, and you can get cars coming at you on radar, and the car's going 122. Passes the cars and then goes by me, and I could hear the engine winding out. I could hear the exhaust. So I turn around, and it's a tourist, two buddies in the car, and he's doing 122 and a 50. So I just walked right up to the car, step out of the car, and he went right into cuffs. So this guy came here on vacation, rented a Lambo, and ended up going to jail for reckless driving. We have an enormous amount of discretion in our job, but I mean, 72 miles an hour over the speed limit, you're going to jail.
Yeah, and you know, you could be the greatest car driver in the world, but you know, you're not trained on that road, and
right. And
know,
that's, again, that was a decision this gentleman made, and he wasn't impaired. He was perfectly fine, but he's driving 122 where we have a lot of people who go out and recreate. So, yeah, again, poor decision.
Poor decision.
Mm-hmm.
So I see these guys all the time in their different vans and the thing and the spiel, and they're always behind someone that's on the road or they're needing help.
Mm-hmm.
And if they're not there, somebody's hitting them. Somebody's driving into the back of them. Somebody's not seeing them. And so we love these guys.
Yeah, I mean, and they've really come a long way. They actually have a tow truck and a flatbed now that they have out on the road. So if a car's disabled and they can't troubleshoot or they can't get the car out of the road, they'll swoop in with their flatbed, scoop it up real quick, and get it out of the road. Yeah, for us, keeping the freeways open as much as possible is it's all about free-flowing traffic, and also something that a lot of people don't think about is our commerce. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of tractor trailers on the road. Time is money. We have a lot of businesses moving to Nevada. All the Amazon warehouses popping up everywhere. Tesla. Do you know why they're coming to Nevada? They're coming to Nevada because our roads are some of the best roads in the country when it comes to being open. So think of operating a business where every time your delivery truck hits the road, it's sitting in gridlock. like that's not good for business.
Right. I never thought about that.
So that's why a lot of businesses are coming here. Freeway Service Patrol helps us keep the roads open. If we show up and there's a car disabled, we'll push the car out of the road. If we can't, then we'll get Freeway Service Patrol out there. For every for every travel lane that's shut down, say we have a crash, car goes into the wall and now it's blocking the left travel lane. So we show up, we have to block that lane. Say 15 in Flamingo, rush hour. Now we have to block that number one lane. Our old major, Pat Gallagher, he now works for a firm that does traffic incident management, and they've come up with their calculation, their equation, and for every minute that we have that lane closed is $10,000 in lost wages, whether it be from a semi-driver to people on their way trying to get to work or whatever. So we have the formula down to a science. So that's why we try so hard to get the road open as soon as possible. And you know, all these big time businesses moving here, they appreciate that. So that's why they're coming here.
And again, you know, one of the best things about the Trooper Talk is that we learn different things by having so many different people come on that I never thought about that. You know what I'm saying? You think of like in California how there's a lot of traffic and things like that, and it's not so great for commerce, and for here, people are able to drive the seafood, from point A to point B without ruining the seafood or whatever.
And I can tell you, if there's a crash, it's beyond our control as troopers. We just have to manage the crash. Okay, there's two cars, one's on its roof, whatever. Okay, so we're gonna need 2 tow trucks. Ambulance, there's a fire truck out there, Freeway Service Patrol to put some cones out for us to start getting traffic moved to the right. There's a lot of moving parts with a crash, and man, I'll tell you now, those truckers let us have it on the road when they're going by. They'll be honking their horns, screaming at us, and it's like it's beyond our control. Right. We can't control it, but time is money to them. They can only drive so long, and their counter is still going if they're stuck in traffic that's going 5 miles an hour, or they're on the road going 65. That time is ticking for them, and that's how they make their living. So, they're usually not too happy with us when we have the road closed, but we wouldn't close it down if we didn't need it shut. So.
Right, and you always try to get it open as fast as humanly possible. It's not like, let's just decide to close the road for 3 hours because you got nothing better to do.
If I show up to a crash and say a car's on its roof, cars slide so easy on their roof with the push bumper. You just get the car, the car's totaled. You just push it, boom, right off into the shoulder. If FSP's there, try to sweep up the pavement a little bit, make sure no one runs over debris, gets flat tires, and then we get that lane open. It's just it's all how you manage a crash.
And it's something that you've learned over time. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Are you ready for this one? What is this? Black History Month.
Oh, he's actually my troop. That's Trooper Herrera.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Okay, let's watch the video.
Hi, my name is Trooper Herrera. I work in the Southern Command here in Las Vegas. I became an officer ever since I was little. I always wanted to be a police officer. I really looked up to them. My main thing was to pretty much help people, serve the community. After October 1st and I was at home, I felt vulnerable. I felt like I couldn't do anything. So I felt like that was more of my calling. It was to help people. This was something that also helped me out when I was younger. There was a school police officer in my high school. He wasn't just there for our safety, he actually mentored us a lot on just life. He saw me grow up ever since freshman year to senior year. And I remember one day I seen him outside of school, and the one thing that he told me that I really remember the most, he said he was extremely proud of me. Just the fact that I took the right path. I got a career, and to be honest, I really looked up to him because he always had a smile, and he was always there to help people. Like, he wasn't just there to be strict. It's actually a lot of things I enjoy. I enjoy freedom. I enjoy the fact that we can kind of go anywhere, travel around wherever we want in Vegas. But the main thing is, after helping people and after going to a call, the fact that you get to see them smile towards the end, even if it's the worst day of their life, I was there to make it a little better. And the fact that they'll still get a smile at the end, or they're able to shake my hand and say, hey, thank you. That's kind of why I do it. I like it for the smiles. Even just walking down, going to a gas station and just seeing a little kid and they'll just look at me and smile. That's the joy I do it for.
So he's one of your troopers.
Yeah, so he said he does it for the smiles. He's always smiling. Always smiling. He's new. He's only been on for about, I think, a year and a half. He was out in Winnemucca and then transferred down here to Southern Command. But he's comes to work every day, happy, smiling. Everyone likes him. And he gets to work. He does a lot of work for us, so he's a good troop.
And everybody does it for a different reason, I would imagine. I'm not an officer or a trooper, but everybody has a specific reason of why it is that they do it. Like he said, October 1, or and so whatever it is that somebody finds for their passion to be able to do it, NevadaStatePolice.com. But it's very important, and so it's something probably, like you said, that keeps you fueled inside to keep going, right?
Yeah, and I think we're all unique in that because we're certainly not doing it for the paycheck. There's other reasons why we do it, whether we like to help people or it's just a calling to them or whatever reason. Everyone has their own reasons, but my mom, actually, she was going through some old pictures and she sent me, if I find it, I'll send it to you so we can put it up next time.
Yeah.
I got to be like 4 years old. And it's Christmas morning and I have my Chips plastic bike Chips, and I got the Chips helmet, and it was like some toy that was popular back then. But I can remember I grew up in Rhode Island, so the Rhode Island State Troopers consistently win best uniform of the year.
Oh.
And their uniforms are just immaculate. And growing up, I looked up to them. So I'm 5 or 6 years old driving down the freeway, and I would count how many Rhode Island State Troopers I saw.
Oh.
Yeah, or there was always this certain cutout on US 95, and I'd always go by and I'd wait to see if they're running radar trying to catch anyone, but I'd always try to see if they were sitting there when we drove by or whatever. So, and then I found my high school yearbook.
Yeah.
Not too long ago, and I was going through it, and there was a section that, where do you see yourself in
Oh, yeah, of course.
10 years? And I put, I want to be a Rhode Island State Trooper. So I had the trooper thing in me,
Yeah.
but then September 11th happened, and I had a calling to join the military. So my service started in 2001. Got out and got this job in 2006. So, and that's a similar story for a lot of other people. It's just something they've wanted to do their whole life.
And when you look at Trooper Herrera there, you see him with what's the hat called?
The smoky hat.
The smoky hat. You see when he just stood there that he's stern with that face. like but he's laughing and he's and so there's that there you can see it that they take on the person who trains them and who's there with them, who's sort of like mentoring them and guiding them in the path.
Yeah. One thing I do have to say is he's been on, I think, 2 years. So that is not his car. A 2-year troop's not going to get that car.
No.
Yeah, he's got a busted up 2016 Charger. So when you're new, you're going to get the busted up cars.
Oh, okay.
NevadaStatePolice.com.
Yeah, stay on there longer.
You're not getting the 2022 Ford Explorer. They use this for the...
for the promo video.
Yeah, I called him. I said, "Dude, why didn't they use your busted ass Dodge Charger?" He's like, "They put me in the new car."
I got to feel what it feels like.
Yeah. So it was pretty funny.
In a few years, he'll get the nicer one. You know what I mean? When it's passed down. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So the new guys, they normally get the older cars and they're high mileage, but the benefit of having a high mileage car is when you mileage it out, you'll get a new car. So.
Right, exactly. And it's still a free take home car.
Yeah, you still
right. So I mean,
take home car, you can't beat it.
Right, can't beat it. What's this? The scam phone calls. So obviously there isn't a person on the planet Earth that doesn't receive fraudulent phone calls on their phone saying that the IRS is calling them, or police send $20 million to Africa, or whatever these people are doing. But the thing is this. Recently on my phone, I received a phone call from somebody who said that the fundraising is now back into play, or whatever they said, for the police department. You know what I'm saying? And so this is a very serious, I mean, it's always serious, but I'm just saying that, someone's impersonating an officer or something like that.
Yeah, I'm not too familiar with this because I'm kind of out of the PIO thing, so I don't get all this stuff like I used to. But I remember a couple times a year when I was PIO, we would get people who would say they were from the Nevada Highway Patrol Foundation or something, and try to solicit money.
There's no such thing.
I can tell you now, no police department on the world or police department union or foundation is going to call and solicit money. We have websites for that if you want to donate, or we hold events where people come out and we make those public. But I mean, at some point you got to realize someone's calling you asking for money. It's probably not legit. And certainly if you get anything from the Nevada Highway Patrol over the phone, it's not legit. We're not going to call you.
Not legitimate. And I just wanted to bring that up so that people knew the fact that, that it's a very serious thing, but that it's not, if you get that, then immediately that it's not the Nevada State Police, and just be done with it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. You're really getting your money's worth today, Neil.
What do you think of this? All right, so here's the thing. You ready? You want me to tell you about this? I don't know if you know what happened here. They parked the Wiener Mobile in a gated area, and somebody went in and stole the catalytic converter. Mm-hmm. So they had to take the Wienermobile to the place to get a new catalytic converter that they had to fit, but their catalytic converter cost $10,000 because it's a special electronic one that does. And so anyway, they couldn't go to their event.
Did you see our Twitter post?
No, tell me.
So I did a Twitter post. I still have access to social media from being PIO, and I'll help Ashley out every now and then with some social media stuff. Like I just did a video of the ghost vehicles for Super Bowl Sunday. I posted that to Instagram. So I saw this come out like the minute it happened. So I screenshot the Channel 8 news story. And I put, the investigators are looking to catch up with the perpetrators. So that post went like crazy on Twitter, on our NHP page. And it was just, we hadn't posted anything in a couple days. So it was just like a good way to kind of have fun. I like doing stuff like that on social media every now and then because there's certainly serious stuff that we put on Twitter.
Of course.
Silver alerts, fatal crashes, and stuff like that. Every once in a while, you need to just show the public that we're human beings and we can have a little fun. So yeah, we got a huge reaction from that post. I think it had over like 100,000 views, and you know, you had some haters on there like, oh, someone let a dad get a hold of the Twitter account, and I'm like, no, it's just just an old trooper sitting on his couch at home tweeting on the NHP page. You know, some people like ketchup doesn't belong on hot dogs. Just all this stuff, but yeah, it was funny. So as soon as I saw this story, it was just breaking. It was like maybe a half hour old. I was like, we gotta put something out about this.
Yeah, and as much as we laugh and we joke, you know, that obviously it's a very serious thing. It's not something for Nevada State Police, but I'm just saying that the fact of the catalytic converters, it's a very big problem. You know.
Yeah, and I never understood what it was, and I was like, why is everyone going after catalytic converters?
Yeah.
So I actually did some research, and there's some rare earth mineral.
So they have palladium. They have about $1,000 in palladium.
Ugh.
But the problem is you have to take it, and then you have to.
I'm assuming you got to take it, break it down, melt it down. Like there's probably like this huge.
And so
process.
they sell them to the scrap yards.
Yeah, and that's another issue that you know, scrap yards. If you have some shady dude bringing you a thing full of palladium and you know, copper wiring, like maybe they should ask a few questions, but a lot of them don't. And that's I remember back when the economy was really, really bad, like the housing bubble.
Yeah.
Like copper was getting ripped off like crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, so back during the housing bubble when everyone, you know, people were losing their homes and everything, that was one of the big stories was people were bringing all this
Stuff to the scrap
shady scrapyard stuff, and the scrapyard places weren't questioning the people. They weren't checking IDs. Like a lot of the reputable scrap places still like photocopy your ID.
Yeah.
So, you know, if the cops do find out there were, you know, I don't know,
They were
1,000 pounds of copper's missing, and
Yeah.
this guy brought me 1,000 pounds at the scrapyard, but you know, a lot of people are just in it for the financial gain, so they don't really.
I would agree with you on that, and that, you know, it's why, you know, for what we do for the society and all that type of stuff, you know, we hope that more businesses, you know, step up to the game and stop with, you know, these type of things, especially the Wienermobile. Super Bowl. What happened here? NevadaStatePolice.com. What do you think of that?
We did a story on Super Bowl Sunday for the ghost vehicles. So that's a ghost vehicle. I don't know if you've got any pictures of them, but that's a Ford Explorer. It's blue, but the markings on it, if you look at it, one angle, you'll see 0 markings. But then if you look at it from a different angle, you'll see the markings. They're reflective from certain angles.
Really?
Yeah, so it's just, there's slick tops, there's no lights on top. So it just helps them blend a little more into traffic, and they're that much easier for the trooper to find impaired drivers, because the impaired driver's not going to see that car.
And do they drive this during the day and all that stuff too?
Yeah, this guy right here, he's assigned a graveyard, and then one of my troopers has a ghost vehicle, and he's swing shift. So he's got half during the day, and, you know, the sun goes down. So he's about 50-50.
Because I imagine a lot of people, they see the lights, and that's when they slow down.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Parents help save your children's life. I don't know what this is.
No, this is a no cell phone, so I'm guessing they're just telling
No
them
cell
not to use your phone while you're driving.
Don't use your phone. You know what that means?
That's a wrap.
What do you think of that?
NevadaStatePolice.com.
NevadaStatePolice.com. So I will end our little segment with the fact that I know you're real busy and that you're doing so many things and and all that stuff. It means the world to me. That you take the time, and I know that you're very passionate about this as well. But that you take the time and you come in here and we get a chance to hang out and stuff like that. It means so much to me, and I always text you and I'm like, oh, be safe, be safe, be safe, and now I just want you to be safe out there. You know what I mean?
Well, thanks for having us.
Yeah.
I'll be back.
Good. NevadaStatePolice.com.
NevadaStatePolice.com.
All right, now we just got to turn towards that camera and do a big wave. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
All right, see you later.